The Union of the United Kingdom is under strain at the moment, as we've been saying on this programme. So why not let's throw another piece of it into the mix, Wales. Could independence there be catching on? Now, as it happens, over the past few months, thousands have marched in support of an independent Wales. The First Minister of Wales even brought up the subject with the Prime Minister over the summer. Although a BBC opinion poll has put support at less than 10% since the turn of the decade, polling by the campaign group behind the recent marches, Yes Cymru, has seen an increase over the last 2 years. Well, our correspondent in Wales, Thomas Morgan, has been asking how realistic this prospect is and finding out what's behind this growing noise in Wales.
Merthyr Tydfil over the weekend.
He told us we didn't want independence last week. He obviously hasn't been to Merthyr recently.
It's not another Remain or pro-Brexit march, but the first Welsh independence rally that's ever been held in the South Wales valleys on this scale.
My name's Sean Jobbins. I'm the chair of Yes Cymru. I'm one of the organisers for today's rally here in Merthyr. I support independence. Wales is a nation, Wales is an independent nation, and Wales, like other small independent nations, can make independence work for it. And we're seeing with our neighbours in Ireland that independence works better than Westminster rule.
In truth, I don't think I've seen so many Welsh flags, Welsh shirts in the middle of a Welsh town, other than when there's an international rugby game on. Thousands have taken to the streets here, echoing this growing noise around the idea of an independent Wales. And this march is now the third successive march, following ones in Cardiff and Caernarfon recently, with people travelling from across the country in support.
Why shouldn't there be an independent Wales? Independence should be normal. It shouldn't be something you have to protest for, beg for.
Well, I've come because obviously I want Wales to be independent. I feel that we're strong enough now to go alone.
Is independence something that you've always believed in or thought about?
It's something that I've got gradually more sort of invested in.
Hi, so my name's Delith Jewell and I'm the Assembly Member for South Wales East for Plaid Cymru.
Plaid Cymru are the only party in Wales that want to split from the UK. They also want to stay in the EU. But like most towns across the South Wales valleys, Merthyr voted to leave in 2016. But all of those I spoke to taking part in the march voted to remain.
Well, I mean, I don't see that as
it's quite contradiction. It is a complete contradiction.
Well, I don't think it is a contradiction, actually, because the two unions are very different. One, I mean, there are problems with the European Union, of course, but one, which is the European Union, is based on the principle of subsidiarity. It's equality between nation states, whereas the UK or Britain, they are fundamentally imbalanced, and Wales does not benefit from being a part of that union. So I would want Wales to be an independent nation as part of the European Union.
This growing rumbling, this crescendo of realisation that that time has to be now.
It's widely agreed by experts and politicians on both sides of the argument that Brexit and the delay in leaving the EU, as well as the SNP's push for another referendum in Scotland, are all factors that have pushed this debate in Wales.
Please move, because you're blocking the progress of an entire nation.
So other than these marches, how can we measure the true interest in independence? It's a tricky one, according to Welsh political expert Professor Laura McAllister.
Things which give you most evidence are kind of mean scores, you know, where you ask people on a scale of 0 to 10 what would be their support for independence in all of those contexts. And we've seen a steady growth in that upwards. The trajectory is definitely upwards, but we probably don't have the kind of depth of polling that Scotland has around this issue for fairly obvious reasons. It's fresh on the Welsh agenda, and only now are we starting to get really serious opinion polling on this.
Independence was even raised by the First Minister Mark Drakeford when he met the Prime Minister in Cardiff Bay over the summer. Although the Welsh Labour government say stronger devolution for Wales is the priority, they say attempts by Westminster to resist such a model could have serious and far-reaching implications for the future of the United Kingdom. So away from Sgwâr Penderyn, what's the view amongst the Merthyr Tydfil locals?
We're far too small, we can't survive on our own.
Possibly. Yeah, I know the Scottish have got it.
the right idea, I think, with their independence.
I don't know, it's a conversation worth having, but I don't know if I'd support it.
30 miles away on the Aberavon seafront, looking out on Swansea Bay, is bustling Cafe Remus. Like Merthyr, it's a Brexit-supporting but also Labour stronghold, where nobody on the doorstep, according to local MP Stephen Kinnock, supports the idea of an independent Wales. For Kinnock, this idea is just pure fantasy.
We generate less in revenue than we spend in Wales. We've seen wealth and resources and talent moving away from Wales and other parts of the UK to London and the South East, away from manufacturing and into services. So we need to redress that balance. But the only way to do that is through a proper industrial strategy that is driven across the United Kingdom. We cannot do that on our own as a small nation of 3 million people.
Let me put it to you, we do benefit of being part of Britain because we spend £15 billion more than we make. So if we were to leave, how on earth would we be able to support ourselves?
Now see, I would turn that on its head, and I would say the fact that we are so economically disadvantaged is a product of the fact that we are in an imbalanced union. Now we need to look at the tax take, we need to look at reforming the economy, but we can only do that if we can make decisions ourselves.
No doubt Brexit is playing a part in the growth of this movement in Wales. So as the battle to leave one union rages on between Westminster, Brussels and Cardiff Bay, the conversation about Wales's future as a part of Britain is just getting started.
Thomas Morgan there on the debate in Wales.